Hi everyone! Today I'm going to walk you through the most important things you need to know before you begin studying for the GRE. First of all, what is the GRE? The GRE is a standardized test taken on the computer that is required for application to many graduate programs in the US. And many business schools and law schools now also accept the GRE in place of the LSAT or the GMAT. If you know what graduate program or graduate degree you plan to pursue, then you can look at program websites and see if the GRE is required, and you can also search their website to figure out what the average GRE scores are in their current class. Now that you know you're taking the GRE, you can sign up for an account on their website. When you do that, that's where you're going to be able to find your testing site and the times for your test, and sign up for the test itself. That happens on their website. And if you're taking it normally, that will be at a testing location, but if you're taking it during COVID, like I did, then you might be taking it at home. But the process is pretty much the same. You can check out a video that I did talking about the GRE at home experience, so you can check that out. But anyway, you'll need to make an account either way. And once you have an account, then you have access to free test prep materials and also some paid for materials. They offer 2 free practice tests that are really similar to the real test. They're in the same format and the same web-based application, so it's really useful. And then there's also a bunch of other resources that they offer, some cheaper than others. I think that at this point we should talk about resources in general, because I would strongly recommend focusing on official GRE materials from the ETS people, the people who write the test. There's a lot of other material out there, but the way that these questions are asked and written is really specific, and so your best bet with getting the right level of difficulty and the right type of question, the right type of wrong answer choices is going to be using official test material. There's the book, The Official Guide to the GRE, and you can also get 2 smaller books, one that's specific to the verbal side, one that's specific to the math side. And these you can get through the GRE's website, but you can also get them on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, etc. And they're really useful. There's more practice questions, practice tests in there. And on top of that, like I was saying, there are lots of other companies that make GRE practice materials, and I think that the value in those is to drill information. Like if you think, oh, I don't really feel confident with my coordinate geometry skills, you can do practice that's not ETS practice and learn coordinate geometry by doing tons of practice problems. But you don't want to think, oh, this is the right exact level of difficulty and the way that the question will really be asked, unless you're doing coordinate geometry problems that are from the GRE people themselves. So you really want to be aware of that when it comes to resources. I'm going to link some useful resources in the description box, so check that out if you want to see other resources outside of the official ones that I recommend. And now let's take a moment to briefly talk about the content of the test itself. So you have 3 sections, and the first section is the writing. It will be right at the beginning of the test. The first hour of the test will be analytical writing. You'll write 2 essays. Each of them, you have 30 minutes each to write the essays, and so that's what you do right away. Out the gate, you write 2 essays. Then there's a little break, and next you go into 5 more sections. Those the verbal and the quant sections, and 1 experimental section. So you can expect to see 2 verbal, 2 quantitative sections on the day of the test, and then you'll see a 5th section which will either be verbal or quant, and that will depend, but it's the experimental. But at the time, you won't know which one is the experimental section, so you have to treat each section like it's the real thing. In terms of the sections themselves, the verbal section is 30 minutes and 25 questions, and the quant section, you have 35 minutes and 20 questions. I'm going to make some other videos talking about the sections and question types more specifically, so look out for those if you want more information about the actual test. The last thing that I want to talk about that you need to know before taking the test is setting yourself up for success when it comes to studying. So that means, first of all, creating a study schedule and really sticking to it, because just like with most things that you're trying to do, consistency is key. And so creating a schedule where you block out time every day to do GRE practice, and not just GRE practice, but to specifically make a plan, like this is what I'm going to do every Monday, this is what I'm going to do every Tuesday, tackle algebra, tackle reading comprehension, etc. Really plan that out. It's going to make you really successful because you're going to just follow your plan and improve. The other piece that goes along with that is making sure that you have a good space where you're going to do your studying. And I'll show you what my space looked like. I had flashcards taped on the walls and a bunch of stuff going on to keep me on track. But I will say that the going from tutor to student or studier for the test was really very challenging because of that, needing to consistently stick to a schedule, and studying is not always fun. But that's why if the more detailed of a schedule you can create for yourself, the better off you're going to be when it comes to actually sitting down and studying for the test and getting yourself the score that you want to get. So that's it for this video. I'll be posting more about the experience of taking the test itself, more tips and strategies, so check back here soon, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!